shame because we were thinking for a while that all of you were going to be at the Steve Bannon 12 o'clock protest downtown. We were thinking, oh, they're all gone protesting Steve Bannon. So that's a new thing. I didn't know what happened. There's a second one at 6 o'clock. There's one now at noon.
Alberta, we can't understand anything that you're saying back here.
Okay, I'm going to try to kiss this even closer.
Okay.
I was thinking that many of you had not shown up because you were protesting Steve Bannon, who's talking somewhere, some conservative group at noon, and people were here protesting it, which could be very true, but it is not today. Many of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. We have a wonderful program for you today. Arlene Desilva is here with the Clavanova project. I have a couple of announcements myself. I'm going to talk about the Ohio gerrymandering lawsuit, which started last week, and I went on Thursday afternoon. And for those of you who want to hear what the bad guys are saying, they are going to be testifying this week, starting tomorrow, Monday morning, with their expert. Sue Magnus can tell you more about that, but they weren't going to have that expert come until Monday morning. And meanwhile, our side, the ACLU and League of Women Voters were finishing up on Thursday afternoon, and there was not going to be nothing happening on Friday. And the judges were not happy to have a no-day, no-show. Sue will tell you more about that in just a minute. I saw the most amazing witness on our behalf for gerrymandering. Her name was Dr. Wendy Cho, C-H-O. She's a professor of political science at the University of Illinois, and she has hundreds of articles. She's been published in hundreds of journals. She has been working gerrymandering on supercomputers for the last 10 years. She was evidently the expert witness that they used in Pennsylvania to get Pennsylvania to change their gerrymandering and what happens there. So I saw the introduction and the beginning of her testimony, and Sue Magnus saw the rest of her testimony that afternoon. She was amazing. This is a lady who makes 300 maps of Ohio and how the districts can be laid out, and she was evidently able to show that the way the Ohio did it was way over on the political side, where it was, 12 and 4? I thought it was 12 and 6. 12 Republican districts and 12 and 4. I mean, we are 50-50 here in this state, and it should be, if it's 12 and 6, 9 and 9, right? It should be half and half. But that's not the way they have it. The way they have it is that it's 12 and 4.
The fix is in.
The fix is in, folks. And she was able to show that it was so gerrymandered to the Republican side that it was just way off kilter and certainly not where it should be. So I felt really honored to be there for the time that I was there, because this woman was amazing. And she was for our side. That was what made it so good. Because she was testifying for us, for the League of Women Voters, and for the ACLU. I was really excited. So, with that announcement, I'm going to go to Sue. She has the microphone already. There you go. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, I picked up where Alberta left off. I picked up where Alberta left off at the trial for the afternoon. So I heard the same woman's more intensive presentation. And it was, beyond my ability to understand how she did it, because she's a data analyst. but what I gathered from her testimony is very clear. This data is not, it's not partisan. And she's analyzed over 1 million, I don't know exactly, 3 million districts around the country.
For Ohio, just for Ohio.
No, there's not 3 million districts.
But he did 3 million different ways for Ohio to show how it could be laid out.
Oh, okay.
He did 3 million for Ohio.
But she also did a bunch of million around the country. She's been doing this, it's her career outside of teaching. And it's incredible how clear it is. It's not a partisan interpretation of the facts. She was able to present this very clear picture of a skewed system just based on numbers alone, and the reason they can do that now, that they couldn't even do this 10 years ago, is because data analysis, the technology has advanced so much that you can handle tremendous amounts of data, and it's just based on, she uses historical data to compare what's going on now, and it was amazing to see how clear-cut it is without any partisan. She was very careful not to show any partisanship. And I would hate to be the cross-examiner who has to cross-examine this, because I don't see how you could argue it. And the judges, I thought, were very receptive to her information. And a little put out with the other side, because they weren't cooperating.
And the other side were going to not come in on Friday and then wait. They wanted their expert witness to start Monday morning. So if you want to hear their side, you can go to room 805 in by the bus station, the big house, what is it called?
Federal courthouse.
The federal courthouse in room 805. It's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing. Seeing the League of Women Voters and they can actually change how the vote can happen for 2020, which is that's what they're looking for. They're looking to change the gerrymandering for 2020, not 2022, which would be wonderful.
Yeah, that 2022 that we voted on, that will happen the way we voted on it, but this is considered an emergency for 2020 because it's so clear that democracy isn't working. But the other thing is, it's an example of why we should be supporting the ACLU and the League of Women Voters.
I'll bet it's 9 to 12. 9 to 12 in the morning, and the afternoon started for me at 1:30. Monday, starting on Monday. Their expert witness is going to be there. There we go. Debbie is here.
Hi, I'm Deborah Schreck, and I want to let you know about 3 things over the coming week. So tomorrow, if anyone would go to lobby at the State House, Sid and I are driving up there, and we'll leave a little after 9 a.m. from Montgomery. Anyone who wants to come with us, I have a minivan. There are 4 to 5 more seats available. We are going to be talking in support of the Single Payer Action Network. It is a method to get big money out of politics, so you're not having big pharma and health insurance and accounting and HR and advertising and all that other double dipping and stuff we just don't really necessarily need that makes our healthcare cost twice as much as many other developed healthcare systems in the world. And when I say twice as much, we're talking around 18% of our GDP, and you look at Australia, and they're spending about 8% of their GDP. So I'm not kidding about that. It costs twice as much here, and we don't even have everyone covered in healthcare like places who do have healthcare for everyone. So we're going, you're welcome to ride with us. On Sunday, Span, Ohio, they're talking at Move to Amend's public meeting. It's at the Chameleon in Northside. It's from 3 to 5 p.m., so doors open at 3, optional time to order food and drinks. The meeting will start around 3:30. They're going to have 3 speakers, including a gynecologist. So it'll be Dee Chavez, who's also speaking here next Tuesday. And that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Next Tuesday, she'll be here. She'll be doing a full presentation, and she'll have some other helpers for questions and answers, but she won't have the same 3 people who are speaking on Sunday at the Chameleon. So in fact, if you go to both presentations, they will be different. And I just want to encourage you to come on out. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys.
Hi, I'm Paul Breidenbach from the AFL-CIO. Last week I came and announced, some of you already knew, that Steve Bannon and some other folks are coming to town tonight at the Netherland Hilton to raise money to build the wall privately on stretches of private land where the owners want it. So we have a couple of different demonstrations that are happening. One, I've got a couple of flyers that I can distribute and put the rest over there, but there's one at 6 o'clock at Fountain Square where we expect to have some press. That was arranged by Compass. So that's the group that Brian Wright and our former representative Steve Driehaus run. So they got a permit yesterday and started publicizing this event 6 o'clock this evening on Fountain Square to show solidarity with immigrants and opposition to the scapegoating of immigrants. At 6:30, there was already a demonstration planned for the location where the event is taking place. So outside the Netherland Hilton, there will be people gathered, presumably across the street. I don't know that there'll be any kind of confrontation. I imagine there are a lot of leaflet people going in, but I don't know if that'll happen. Anyway, to show support for immigrants and opposition to Trumpian immigration policies this evening.
I got a message from the Democratic Socialists of America that it was in Fountain Square at 6. Is that long? He said that.
Yeah, that's the first one. That's at 6.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, both places, okay,
Yeah,
so.
so that's what this one is, and then this one is.
Anyone else want to make an announcement? Only one. Here we got some.
This is not really an announcement. I mean, I'm announcing that I'm back. Oh, okay, right. Well, let me just say a word or two about, I was in Las Cruces, New Mexico for about a month. I had friends there, and from the time that my daughter used to live there, that's when I started going. And I stay in this little mom and pop motel. It has a nice little kitchenette looking out on a nice courtyard. Sunny every day, doves and birds in the courtyard. But I wish I had been able to hear Don Sherman. I know him rather well, but he never can stand still long enough to say everything that he was able to talk with you about. And I was real glad to read Peter's long, detailed report on what he was saying. And the other woman who spoke before, the week before, I believe. But let me just say that in one of the many things I did in Las Cruces, we're just north of El Paso, you know. And so that whole area is getting immigrants all the time, every day. The ones that are let through have to be put up somewhere overnight. They're trying to join families they've been allowed through because they have a family. It's that chain migration that Trump wanted to get rid of, but we had a little church where I helped, 2 big buses from ICE twice a week with 30 people, usually one parent and one child. I have a feeling that's why those couples get through. They no longer want to lock up all the children, apparently. So they you know, I mean, so we would cook supper for them, and then they could stay over in the little church where I helped. Put away the tables and bring out the cots in a big social room. So that was a wonderful thing to be part of. I just like being with people who care so much to help. And there are lots of those around El Paso and Las Cruces, I'm happy to say. Well, thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, Mike.
Don't believe her story. She's been in jail in Dodge City. Matt Dillon finally caught up with her. She's been robbing stagecoaches.
Any other comments? Yes?
Dot, would you like to introduce our speaker?
Oh, yes, I have an announcement. Just now, Katie gave it to me. On this Thursday, March 14th, from 6 to 7:30 at the Westwood United Methodist Church on 8th Avenue, there's going to be a fair tax abatement strategies for neighborhoods. And there's co-hosts are Better Bus Coalition, Cincinnati Educational Justice Coalition, Federation CFT, Women's City Club, Community Shares, Affordable Housing Advocates, Homeless Coalition, just an awful lot. So it would be really nice if some of you could go. I know you all have other things also. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. What is it, Pete?
Do you have an extra copy of that flyer? Or I mean, I try to get the newsletter out by Thursday noon, but if the speakers never get back to me, sometimes I'm kind of like, yeah.
That's the only copy.
There'll be a chance at that meeting, there'll be tables and table moderators, and you can have your input about what you think about their proposal for a better bus system. It's a good program. Also on your table, there's a flyer about the Women's City Club, national speaker Helen Thorpe, on April 3rd at Memorial Hall, and I hope you'll come to that. But I'm supposed to be introducing our speaker today, Arlene Desilva. She is from Sri Lanka. She might another day tell us about her immigration situation. But she's worked with immigrants for a long time. She had many years with the Council on Aging, and she's a finance super person. And she's also a great photographer. She has a great book on Faces on Aging. And she has started a program, Music and Wellness. You've got flyers about that on the table, about the conference, which is coming up in September, but on the other side about the data and the statistics they have about the difference of music and illness, not only with the aging population, but lots of other groups. She's got groups 94 around here, around the country, and groups in Switzerland and groups in Sri Lanka. And she's an international expert on the Clavanova and a lot of other projects. So it's nice to hear somebody doing something really positive, which makes a huge difference in many, many lives. So I'd like to introduce you to Arlene Desilva.
Thank you, Don. The instructions I was given was to make sure I hold it closed like I was going to kiss it. So, thank you. No? Yes?
Yes. Think of yourself as a rock star.
Okay. I have one opportunity to be around. Is this better?
Real close.
Real close.
Real close.
Okay. Okay. So, good afternoon. And thank you, Dot, for that wonderful introduction. Today, I'm here to speak a little about wellness through music. I know you've had a lot of heavy topics, and Dot mentioned that I was born in Sri Lanka. And actually, I'm so glad. I got my citizenship in 1983 and pulled out the letter that I got. And guess who gave me the letter? I framed it now. It was Senator John Glenn. I had forgotten about it, and I was pulling some stuff out, and here it was. Now it's all framed. So anyway, any of you stressed these days? So the programs I'm about to talk about, it's all about stress reduction. Somebody recently asked me, how do you get people excited about these programs? How do you get people excited about what you're doing? And I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't know. I'd say a couple of words. I'm not one known to drag on and on. But there are a few key things that I talk about. One, that the programs, we have 2 programs, that the programs are all about fun. And that the programs are about stress reduction. That's why I asked the question. I'm not here standing and saying, if you do this for 1 hour, this is what's going to happen. What we do have is a neurologist out of South Carolina. He was in Pennsylvania. He's known nationally, Dr. Barry Bittman. He's a neurologist who has done all the research. He works with Cleveland Clinic. He works with Walter Reed. These are some other places he has recently done his research. So these 2 programs are research-based. Someone said to me when I walked in, I'm so glad to hear what you're going to speak about because I was a music teacher. Somebody, there. And maybe we have others who are music teachers, or you learn to play an instrument. Any who learn to play an instrument? What do you play?
Learning to play the alto recorder.
I loved it. When I was 6 years old, that's what I started on. The alto recorder is beautiful. Has a rich tone to it. Yeah. Any others with?
I play the string bass.
Nice. Wonderful. And you said you do? Piano. Anyone else?
Well, in the 60s, I learned enough guitar to sing a few Dylan songs.
All right. Wonderful. Yes.
I play the radio.
I like that. Listening to music is a good thing. Yes.
Yes, I played the 12-string guitar because I was not proficient enough to sound good on the 6-string. And when you have a 12-string, it sounds really full.
So you need more strings to really make it. Yes, wonderful. That's a tough instrument to do. 12. Yes.
I play the trumpet. I want to be louder than anybody else.
The drums? The drums?
No, trumpet.
Trumpet.
Yes.
Wonderful. Dot, you play, don't you? Saxophone. Dot, you play some, right? No?
Euphonium.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like a small tuba.
If I made mistakes, I probably didn't get hurt.
Okay, so you have the flute. So what I see here is a full orchestra that you can have. You can have the Democrats. I mean, you can do this and have your own recreational music making. So the programs that I'm talking about today, and it's on your on the page, the one page I brought. One is called Clavanova Connection, and I think Doc mentioned that it's Clavanova Connection. You need one? You're good. Oh, you got it. The Clavanova is a digital piano. It's not a keyboard. It's an actual piano. He's nodding there knowing yes. So it's a piano, digital piano, that putting 3 or 4 of these instruments together, and you can go up to 6 instruments, no more than 6. Dr. Bittman has created a program called Clavanova Connection. So if you've never played the piano, and Doc knows this, if you've never played the piano, you just follow red and green lights. And he has also developed a 10-step protocol that a facilitator will guide you. They're not there to give you piano lessons. Believe me, I went through that, and it was hell. I had the Irish nuns to begin with, but nothing against the Irish nuns. But I did. My background is in music, and as Dot said, it's music and finance. So, go figure. But these instruments are wonderful for people who have always wanted to play a piano, maybe, an instrument. So that is, it's a 1-hour program, and you don't play alone. These programs are all about group-based. So the thing is not just being an individual, but having fun together. If you want to see it, if you want to be part of something, we have it at Maple Knoll, we have it at, yes, thank you. We have it at Twin Towers, Children's Hospital, so it's not just for older adults. this is for all populations. From children to, like the next program is called Health Rhythms, and it uses drums. TriHealth has it for their alcohol and drug treatment programs. Children's Home of Northern Kentucky has it for the at-risk youth. But again, it's not, I want to stress that this is not for people who are sick and need to be, this is about prevention. That's why we call it wellness through music. I did, a couple of years ago, have an invitation from a law firm in town. And they wanted us to bring the program for attorneys. That was a little daunting. I was the facilitator for it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do we do with these lawyers? But you know what? It's not about perfection. We're not looking for right or wrong. You can create any rhythm you want. It's your own. And they couldn't care. I mean, I spoke about the evidence, the research, but it was more about having fun. So I have also given you, on the flip side of this, one of our other events. You know, I spoke a little about the two programs we have, but we also have an annual Music and Medicine Conference, usually in the fall, and it's coming up on September 27th, usually held at the Mason Jewish Community Center. And we do have the innovator of the programs. He'll be keynote in the morning, Dr. Barry Bittman. And in the afternoon, we have Dr. Francois Beto. He's from the Cleveland Clinic. He heads the Arts and Medicine program at Cleveland Clinic. So they're all going to talk about what does music do for us? How does music positively affect our lives? I heard, I think the gentleman over here said, I play the radio, right? You said you play the radio. So I like to kind of, I put them into like 3 buckets, music. And the types of music, not just listening to music, but the types. What are the types of music we have? Performance-based. So all of you who talked about I play the double bass or the flute, we go through lessons. Sometimes the lessons can be painful. Sometimes there's a sense of accomplishment, but not sometimes. I think a lot of times there's a sense of accomplishment when we get from one lesson to the other. But I think performance-based has some stress that comes with it. Yes, fear of failure. Sometimes people have that as well. So performance-based is one. It's great. I'm glad I'm a classically trained pianist. I hardly play anymore, but I still enjoy it every now and then. The second type of music is music therapy. Are you familiar with music therapy? There are music therapists who do a wonderful job. They're specially trained. And I look at music therapy as it's a treatment. There's a treatment plan. And someone who's like Congresswoman Gabby Gifford. It was a wonderful music therapist who did some remarkable things. And she improved. So music therapy, I look at it as for if you're sick and you want to get better. So the third item is what we bring to you, which is also known as recreational music making, RMM, they say, garage bands. You know, just that's you play for the fun of it. You get together as a community and you play. So our programs are about recreational music making. One caveat, we have a neurologist who has been able to design 2 programs with the credibility of saying, my research shows, peer-reviewed research, he has been published in most of the medical journals. So it shows 1 hour of engaging in either one of those programs for 6 weeks gives you reduction, and I don't want to read it because it's right on your paper, a whole host of benefits. The biggest thing is that it's a lot of fun. So I want to go back to the gentleman who said I like to listen to the radio or listening to the music. I think listening to music makes us feel better, right? Sometimes a song could make us sad, but most of the time it puts us in a good mood. So I learned from Dr. Gibbon that more than listening to music, actively engaging in music is better for us. So banging on a drum is good for us. Because drumming, they say that whole repeated kind of that sustained beats that we do, there is something that it strengthens our immune system. It does have, he's shown through it. So, let me do the question. Okay. So I think what I would like to say is that if you have a chance, you know, the phone number is there, or Dot knows the programs. Or if you would like to, you know, when you guys get together sometime, you wanna have something, I'm happy to bring it or send one of our facilitators. We're a nonprofit. I mean, it is nonprofit. We do charge, but I will not charge here. I would just like to get you engaged and just feel, you know, just experience it. The nonprofit is called Global Music and Wellness. I didn't have a brochure to bring you today because it is, as we speak, it's revised brochure is going to the printer today. But I thought this is more than enough. I don't like to bombard you with a lot of paper and stuff. So I would like to
Talk about your training this weekend.
Oh, yes. So I did. If anyone wants to see this, this is a facilitator manual. So you have to be a trained facilitator to engage groups. There's a method to the madness in this. So someone who takes a 2-day training, this particular book is for Health Rhythms with the drumming program. I'm having a training. I'm one of the 5 national trainers for Health Rhythms. And I have a training coming up next week, March 21st, 22nd. And I was sharing with Dot, and she said I should share with you guys. I have 20 or 22 people registered. They're coming from Oklahoma, Maine, New Jersey, Tennessee, just all kinds of places. Last year I had 2 who came from Puerto Rico. My January training had someone from Colombia. So it's really, I love this work. This is better than doing finance. I love finance, but it's nice to do this because it's not, I get to meet people, and I get to meet people from all around, and going to Switzerland was another thing. 6 years ago I went to Switzerland and trained 23 people there. I go to Sri Lanka every year, so I've been working with Sri Lanka to kind of get the word out. It takes a little time for people to understand what this is about. Because when you say wellness through music, people are like, what do you do? Is this music therapy? And we're trying very hard to let people know music therapy is this, and it has a wonderful job it does for people who are sick, who we're about active engagement, active living. Yeah.
You could mention how it's helped with the kids with development of children.
Yes, so, thank you, Dot. So Dot said, ask about, talk about what we do at Children's Hospital, what we do with the Hamilton County Board, Developmental Disability Services. They have it at different, I think they call them, trying to think, adult centers. So with children's, we have it specifically with the child and adolescent psychiatry. So again, it comes, what I have seen is we have counselors, and you don't have to be a facilitator, you do not have to be a musician. I forgot to tell you that even to engage in this, you don't have to be a musician. Dr. Bickman prefers you're not a musician, because sometimes a musician has that metronome. Oh yeah, she's laughing. You know what I'm talking about.
The worst to teach.
Yeah. So this is more of I would say, of having empathy and loving to just interact with people and changing lives. So Children's Hospital is mostly with the psychiatry, and it's amazing what it does for them in settling them down. Developmentally disabled is, we also do, we have facilitators engaging in them, and again, we adapt the program a little bit, and it's amazing what comes through with them, and how, that we don't have scientific, we meaning the nonprofit doesn't have the scientific research because Dr. Bickman has it, but we do surveys and we get a lot of information on that.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Yes?
It's really not a question. My hobby is the video bands and orchestras. And Cincinnati has, well, more than 30 bands and orchestras where people volunteer to play. The New Horizons Band is where retired people can go and learn how to play an instrument and play band music. This Sunday I did the Cincinnati Metropolitan Orchestra, which is an 80-piece orchestra with about 15-20 people in singing groups. And I've also do the music therapy with Cincinnati Blind. And there's more music here in Cincinnati than there is in Seattle.
Wow.
That for people who know how to play an instrument and want to play one.
Yeah.
And they have, and it goes all over, whether you're really good or just want to play just for fun.
Right.
And there's a lot of groups here in Cincinnati that anybody who does do this would like to play can do it very easily.
So that's a great piece, because what we have found with our programs, someone who engages in Clavanova connection, say, goes through the first level, the second level, third, we have found them, it's almost like a career path. They go on to take piano lessons or lessons in an instrument. So this is kind of, it takes the fear sometimes of people who may have wanted to play but never played. So this is a nice place to start, and then that's wonderful that you're involved in it. I know some of it. I know some of the folks with the New Horizon Band as well. So great stuff. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Yes.
This is a really question. Louder. All the way up to your mouth. This is a really. Turn it up. Okay. Turn it off and turn it back on. Up.
This isn't really a question either. Last fall, I took my first shamanism class at Ollie, and the drumming. We actually went to a drumming ceremony that he had. Shamanism apparently is getting to be very popular again. So, and they use music. I hate to say therapy, but it's still the drumming. It was very nice.
Yeah. It's very therapeutic. I mean, drumming is very therapeutic. And if you look at the ancient times, as she's saying, the music man, the medicine man, remember of old. And it's just coming through now, I think, in the last 50 years or more, where the science is now showing what the arts has always done. I mean, that's why folks like Dr. Bickman bringing us the research is now putting that, they're validating what we kind of have known which is more anecdotal, I think. So we have the evidence. Yes, it does say we live longer. If you've heard of the neurologist, who's the guy who was he was a British neurologist. You see he passed away at the age of 89, I think. The name escapes my mind right now. But one of his quotations was music, how it extensively activates our whole brain. And that's what music does, folks. It uses the entire brain. And for me, that's why I just love doing what I'm doing, because it's not, one, it is different than my performance-based experience. Two, it is something that we are able to actually improve lives, and the evidence is there. And I think that's why,
In my classroom, I used drumming to build community, because the children would come together and they would all have their responsibilities, their parts that they were responsible for. And the beauty of that was that I could actually sit down and just be a member, and then the children would take on over and they would build their rhythms, they would work together. It helped many of our children with disabilities because they would have eye-to-eye contact, they would be able to do things and perform in ways that, they didn't need the written word to do that. And so the whole thing about music too is that building of community, where we start listening to each other, paying attention to each other. We don't have to understand the language of the person next to us. All we have to do is play music, and it happens beautifully.
I just wondered exactly what you do with children at Children's Hospital. Do they play little instruments, or do they sing?
Okay, so the question was, you probably heard all the question. So with children at Children's Hospital, we do health rhythms. So the drumming program, there's a 10-step protocol. So we take drums, they actually have drums. And there are trained facilitators, and one of their trained facilitators is also a music therapist who really sees the benefits. So Dr. Bickman has written a 10-step protocol. So one of the steps so the 10-step protocol is your 1 hour of engaging people. And what you do is, in your 6 weeks of doing the protocol, 1 hour a week, is where the reduction in depression, the self-esteem. We do this with refugees right now. I forgot to mention it. We've done the program with the refugee population. 6 years ago when we started, they would not even look us in the eye. They were, there's a lot of trauma they had gone through. Today, these same people, empowered, they have their own personalities, they're much more, they communicate better. So that's what happens with the children as well, more communication, an opportunity for them to express themselves. It doesn't have to be that they talk. They may express it non-verbal through the drum. Yes.
Is it possible for an individual to organize a small group, 5, 6, or something like that, and schedule a 6-week session, and how much would that cost?
Before I go to the cost, I'll mention, you talked about the magic number in terms of, the magic number is how many would be in a group. I have had this argument with Dr. Bickman so many times, and I lose because he's the neurologist, he knows it. So we have groups that like to do this on a social basis, and they may have 20 or 25 people in it. Having fun, And he's always saying to me, Arlene, that's not health rhythms. So you have to keep your group, so your number is good. Magic number is like 10. 10 to 12. If we do anything more than 12, he says, that's not. So we have to put the disclaimer always. Okay, so if you would like to have 10 or 12, maybe 10, 5 or 6, he says, is not quite enough. Because you want that, try to even get 8. If
5 or
you
6 was the number for the Clavanova group.
5 or 6 for the Clavanova, are you talking Clavanova?
Either one, the
Yeah.
drums or the clavinova.
Yeah, so Clavanova is 6, Dot, you're right. 6 for the Clavanova, more like 10, but we can do it with 8 for the drumming. 6 weeks would, I'll give you a break. Let's see. What is it? It's my finance. I mean, yes, I'm trying to negotiate with you.
Can I get you to point this out to people who are talking?
Okay. Maybe for 6 weeks, $200. I came down yes, my finance went all, yeah, I mean, I'll do it, because, and if you think it's giving too much, then I can work with you. I can work. Yeah.
Martha was asking what happens or how you do this with the children or something. And one of the things with the lack of drumming, ask each child to go around and drum out your name. How would you drum your name? And you know, so you think about that. And then, okay, what would you do if you were really angry? And boy, those kids can pound hard, you know. And then what would you do if you felt good? And so then one of the other really interesting things, when everybody starts out doing different things at different times, within, is it 1.5 minutes?
Yep.
The group is together. Everybody is beating the same, no matter how they start. It's just amazing. And if you want to try it, just for fun, go to the conference. You have a chance to try it all out. You have to do your drumming, and you can see the clavinum.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for describing what happens there. Yes, thank you, Doc.
I think it's interesting you haven't mentioned singing, which is absolutely crucial to me, and I know lots of people have said they've been tapped on the shoulder, you be quiet, and so forth. So a lot of people are self-conscious, but what I find incredibly therapeutic is listening in the car so I don't bother anybody when I sing along with the record.
So, singing is wonderful. The only reason I focused on the programs we do, but let me explain about what we do with our programs. We bring in singing into it. We do. So Dot was talking about play your name on the drum, and then there's another step where we may say, well, just play anything on the drum, and then to that, especially with different holidays, coming up is. What's coming up now in the next? St. Patrick's, yes, and so we'll have, especially with the seniors, we really have that. With the kids or even any others, opening day, Take Me Out of the Ball Game comes in, so they drum and sing. I like to get folks to do the drumming as well as singing at the same time, because it's a good hand-eye coordination kind of thing. So singing is involved. What we don't have right now is another program that's the protocol is for singing. In September, Dr. Bittman will be speaking about his brand new research. This was done using gospel music. And he just did with cardiovascular, and it's African American population, and and he said, oh my gosh, I have all this information to give out to people about what, and that's not health rhythms or Clavanova connection. He's using everything together, and there's singing, because gospel music is also, here it is, it's coming. We'll be introducing that next year into our stuff. So singing is coming into it. Drumming, playing piano, so it's rhythm-based. And we'll be hearing about it. I don't know anything about it yet. I'll hear when everybody else hears about it. Hang on, Dr.
I think there's a big difference between singing alone and singing in a group.
Yes.
And many people are nervous about that. And at the same time, I think, I know from doing student society
assignments about music. Some people totally live in the music that's in their head, and a lot of that is very personal about solo singing that no one wants to hear.
And I think that's
I have
what.
a question
Yes.
from one of our people. She wants to know how much the how much it costs for the 8th annual Music and Medicine Conference.
For the day, it's a full day with breakfast, lunch, everything. The early bird is $90.
Fine, okay.
Which we try to keep our stuff very reasonable for people. I mean, that is something that I think it's the finance in me that people used to say because of my music stuff that I would be creative with my numbers. And I truly am being creative with my numbers and trying to keep it reasonable. And we're not about gouging and trying to make a fast buck here or there. So, yeah.
This is all quite interesting.
Yes.
And it reminded me when my granddaughter was, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years old, we played drumming on a tabletop.
I would drum, and she would have to copy what I did.
Well, she became a drummer.
That's a success.
Yes, in high school. And so, I mean, but then one other quick thing, as far as the being good for you music, feeling better, I can't go to sleep at night unless I get on YouTube and listen to Shirley Barrett or Eileen Farrell or some great singers. I mean, I just, it just relaxes you.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good word to say what music does for us. Music relaxes. That's why I was talking about stress reduction. I like to speak about that these programs are fun and they reduce stress. So reducing stress means we're much more relaxed. Yes. Two quick pieces. Dot, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention with the Clavanova, which is an extraordinary instrument where you can play one finger at a time. Well, within about 10 minutes, the computer thing, you're playing with the orchestra. And it's whatever song you want. You might be following the little red lights to tell you which key to press, but suddenly you're playing the symphony. And it's really fun, and you just see people's faces light up with, wow, I can be part of that, And if you're in a class with 6, everybody wears earphones.
Yes.
The instructor, the facilitator can hear you, and you can hear yourself, but you're not bothering anybody else. And you can play any tune you want, and any way you want, in whatever rhythm you want, and the machine just responds. It's amazing.
Thank you, Dot. I would love to invite you to come. Our offices are at Twin Towers. We're in a patio home. They gave us a patio home, which was at first I thought a patio home for our office. So we have Clavanovas there. We have the drums. I would love to have you come and experience it. 2 quick things. We're happy to be partnering with UC. Dr. Bickman has his own research he's done, but we are also, our research partners UC, and we're doing 2 studies with them on health rhythms, on the drumming. One is a healthy aging study, and the other is they're measuring depression and loneliness in Bhutanese refugees. So we're just getting started on that, and we hope to do more with UC and also with Xavier. And the other thing, I am so thrilled to be doing 2 collaborations with the Lindner Center. Lindner Center has 3 facilitators trained. They're taking it to mental health, inpatient, outpatient. And the most recent one, we just started, is with Mason High School. We were approached by 2 mental health counselors from Mason, and they talked to the wellness coordinator at Mason High School, and it's a go. And we're going to be starting that in the fall, and they're going to engage the students in the LGBTQ community, and these are the counselors who are the experts. So we bring the experts to work with us to go into this. So thank you very much.
you guys would be interested in music. And that reminds me, I'm going to be telling you more about this, but I will be inviting you to come to a concert, an outdoor concert at Blue Ash in the outdoor auditorium on a Tuesday night in July 11th. And it's the Flag Day, and there's a bank that gives you little flags to wave. But it's really cute, and you'll bring your own supper. It's a free concert. You bring a chair and you sit out and listen to the Sycamore Community Band play a lovely outdoor concert in the evening. And I will be giving Peter the exact information on that. Yes. The concert begins at 7 o'clock, but I'm going to be inviting people to come to come and just be together and at one of those. You know how they have those pavilions? And I will have one. I'm going to get the exact pavilion this week.
And you play?
Yes, I do. I've been playing with this band since wait a second. I've been playing with this band since 1994. 1994. So I've been playing with this group for 24. Is it 24 years? Yeah. Well, it's a good band. I mean, it's like real Sousa and real show tunes and real symphonies and real. Mine? yeah. It's a euphonium. It's a small tuba. I'll have to show you. You have to look it up, folks. I'll have to send you a picture.
She's good, I heard her.
Plenty of podium.
There used to be 4 of us, and we played together for 23 years, and then one guy got too old, he couldn't see the music anymore. He was in the Withrow High School band that used to play for the minstrel show when they used to do blackface here in Cincinnati back in early 1950s. He was in high school. I mean, that's how old this guy was. He can tell you stories. Back in the day when they had swimming, never mind. Swimming for the white folks Monday through Thursday, swimming for the black folks on Friday. They changed the water and you could come back on Monday and have. That was Withrow High School back in the 50s. We're also Walnut Hills also. I mean, it's not a part of the history we're really proud of. I think most of us are outgrowing this. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Question?
Is that there by the Presbyterian Church, behind the rec center?
Behind the rec center, right.
Okay, they do concerts there every Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday night, free concerts.
Yeah.
And they get good people like us.
Yes.
We're a really good group.
Free live.
Yeah, they have a lot of, yes.
They have a lot, and if you're not familiar with this concert series, you ought to be, and I'm telling you June 11th. It's June 11th, it's going to be.
July or June?
June 11th, I'm sorry. Did I get July?
Yeah.
I meant June. Flag Day is like the 14th, but we're just going to be on
There you go.
I'll get the actual reservation and the things going this week. I have to find. Anybody here who live in Blue Ash? Anybody here live in Blue Ash? Nope, see, I gotta get somebody from Blue Ash so I can get, reserve one of them.
I live in Deer Park, does that count?
No, we have to be able to reserve one of those
okay.
in the Blue Ash Amphitheater.
Okay.
And one of my friends do that. Okay, we have music, folks. I didn't know you guys could do music. This is really good. So many of you are really musically inclined. That's really a good thing. And if you're inclined to do the Clavanova, God bless you.
We have on it, but.
Next week, we're going to do
I
SPAN,
put it in my purse.
the Single Pair Action Network, right? Single Pair Action Network. Single Pair. That's with these Chavez, and then after that, the FBI Citizen Academy. We have good programming. I don't know if you're on your table, you have a list of what we're doing through May. We're going to have to change the actual program for Jill Schiller because what she wants to do is to change how you can support people more closely to the election and how you can help people get elected. Okay, so we have wonderful speakers. If you want to know anything about Clavanova, she's going to be here for a little while. You can ask her questions in person. Thank you so much for coming. You are a great audience. What a